So yeah, I'm just heading to Market Street now. I'm going to totally avoid the Arndale today. I'm not going to bother with the Arndale today. It is looking reasonably quite busy. There's quite a lot of people out, so I'm guessing the Arndale will be quite busy. So I'm going to avoid that. I'm not going to go into the Arndale today. I'm just going to walk up Market Street and head to Piccadilly Gardens and usually do my cat prowling around Piccadilly Gardens and see if there's anybody interesting about, anybody to see. And we've got a couple of buskers here which I will go and have a quick film of, because you know I do like my buskers, I do like my street entertainers. So let's go and give these a bit of a watch, shall we? I'm going to try and make it a bit of a tradition to put them in at the end, but let's have a little bit of a film now. Very nice. They're always good. They're always very nice, these street. Oh my god! I was actually just about to call them a street. See, this is what you'll have to forgive me, guys. Lack of sleep. My brain is just not working. But I'm doing this for you guys. The commitment is strong. I'm doing this auditing. As you guys have said, I've got to pump out that content. I do want to, obviously, at some point, find a happy medium to. Obviously, I don't want to be vlogging every single day. I don't want to do it every day, but I want to do it quite regularly, if you know what I mean. So I just want to find that happy balance when it comes to this. And at the minute, I'm not sure what that is. At the minute, I haven't got a schedule or anything like that. So, as I say again, it's all about patience and bearing with me until I find my feet with this. But yeah, as you can see, guys, very, very, very busy and hectic around here. I knew it would be like this. It always is on a Saturday compared to weekdays. So, well, I'm nearly to the top of Market Street and I actually haven't seen one goon yet. I haven't seen one 3GS goon yet, not one. Usually they're out here in the droves on a Saturday, so maybe they've got wind that there is a gathering of some sort happening and they're not going to come out. So, is he finishing or setting up? Yeah, they maybe have got wind that something may be happening, so they're not out today, but yeah, I can't see any. Absolutely can't see any. It's like...
Hey sir, why are you wearing a mask?
It's stupid, isn't it? It's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you are stupid, but why are you wearing a mask?
Wearing a mask is stupid.
Why are you wearing a mask? Sir, why are you wearing a mask?
Because the sheeple. Because the sheeple.
Why? Because of the coronavirus.
The sheeple.
Did the government say you could wear a mask on the street? No, they didn't. Can you understand what I'm saying? You could wear a mask in the shop, but you don't have to wear a mask in the street. If the coronavirus was that bad, you would be wearing a mask everywhere you go. Do you know what I mean? They told us not to go to our own family's house, right? You can't go to your family's house.
Spot on. You say it, mate. You say it. You say it.
But you can meet your family in another shop. You can meet your family. Let's go. You phone up your family and say, "Oh, listen, I'm going to Debenhams today. You coming down?" Yeah, sure. We come down and meet at Debenhams. And then you got another scenario. And listen, I'm coming down your house today. Is that okay? No, you can't come to our house. You can only go in other buildings. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Do you really understand? Because this is what's called mind control.
Yeah. Sheeples.
Psychological abuse.
Sheeples.
In fact. Do you know what I mean? I can meet my family out on the street, but I can't meet them in the
Sheeples.
In the house.
Do you know the local experimental? Have you not seen him on YouTube? The
I don't.
The social experiment. Watch him because you've got quite similar to him. You're quite.
Because it's common sense.
Yeah,
right?
it is common sense. It is common sense.
I'm not an anti-masker. I just want to see the sense of it. I ask the questions. You know, if I was if I was living in number 11 Downing Street, I'd be knocking on number 10. Boris Johnson, what are you doing, mate?
Yes, mate.
Listen. I can go in another building. I could go to Debenhams, Primark. I can go to any shop, banks or anything, right? With a mask on, and that's okay. But I cannot go to my parents' house.
It's stupid.
Because that ain't okay.
It's stupid.
Now, I can meet a stranger out on the streets, which shouldn't be okay. But I can't meet my mother in her house.
Give this guy a round of applause.
My brothers and my sisters, I have to meet them somewhere in town or in a field or in a park. But what the government could do is this, right? Now, this would be fair, dudes. If they got a situation going on, because what they really done is they segregated us from our parents, mate. Do you know what I mean? Our families. And what they could have done is say, you can meet your family in their houses or in your own house as long as you wear a mask. Now that is sensible, right? Because it doesn't make sense that you have to wear a mask in a shop with strangers around you, but you can't wear a mask in your own family's house, in another separate house of your family, with family around you. Do you know what I mean? You got the blood of your family. You know what I mean? You got the DNA of your family, but you ain't got DNA of strangers. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I'm saying to you people that are wearing a mask on the street, you're making the government look right. They're not right, they're wrong.
Woo!
And the more you open your eyes and say, hey, listen, I don't need to wear a mask now. No, I'm on the streets, mate. When I go into the shops, I put a mask on because that's the rules. The rules isn't to wear a mask on the street, so get yourself back to that healthiness. Because the mask ain't giving you any good health.
They're scaring the people, that's why they're wearing it.
That's right. And I could go into this, right? Because like a gentleman said, the fear and confusion. Do you know what I mean? And people wearing the mask, don't you ever think to yourself, hey, I got a mask, but the rest of the people ain't got a mask. Hey, excuse me, how come you haven't got a mask?
I'm an outcast.
Because it's not affecting me, is it?
I'm an outcast.
And do you know the one thing you got to understand is that they said that, you know, I knew they were going to do this because they want all of our DNA. They want our DNA.
Well
take it.
Well
do you know why? Because they said if you got symptoms, you get tested. If you haven't got symptoms, you don't get tested. That's because of your money they have to spend. Now, all of a sudden, they're saying asymptomatics are the cause of spreading the virus. So we want they're going to do that, all asymptomatics to get tested.
Don't do it.
How do we know that we're asymptomatic?
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
How do we know? This is the point. How do we know that we are asymptomatic? You don't. Like the gentleman says, but we don't care. We still want your DNA.
You don't
because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Because look at in Manchester in itself. They would tell you there's a spike. They would tell you there's a higher spike in another in another district or something. And we have to think to myself, this is an AI virus. It has its own intelligence. It would say today, viruses. We've got a demonstration going on in Leicester. Yeah, so all the viruses go to Leicester and mess them up. We messed them up, we got them locked down. Well done. Any other? Yeah, let's go to Bradford. No, actually, let's go to Scotland. Let's get all the pubs shut down and no alcohol being sold. Who does that sturgeon think she is? You know, she's going on like bold here. I've got Scottish people under control. You know, I'm going to stop alcohol. She sets the trend. I'm going to stop alcohol being sold in places of hospitality, but not in hotels. Alcohol, alcohol can only be served at certain times. Now you've got to think to yourself this, right? Because Sturgeon in Scotland is saying we're going to stop selling alcohol for 16 days. I mean, come on. Don't mention the days then. Just say we're going to stop alcohol, and then we say we don't know when we're going to do it. But apparently, 16 days is a mark. It's a placement to say it's okay to drink now. I can't understand that kind of concept. So what it is control. It's seeing what they can do with you.
Yep.
Seeing how
Well
far
said.
they can push you.
Well said.
Do you know what I mean? Because the whole thing doesn't make sense, except let's see how far they can push you. So now that Scotland has done this thing, right? Now what now a leaked document is saying actually they're going to ban alcohol throughout the country. Pubs are going to be open at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do you know what I mean? And so if you're not going to abide by the COVID-19 rules, then don't open your pubs. Now you've got to understand this has got out of hand, people.
It
you
has.
cannot
It has.
just stand there and not say anything.
Yep.
I'm not saying that you've got to go out and say no to COVID-19, no to vaccine,
No to COVID-19,
no to
no
masking,
to virus.
no to, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let the government know that we mean business.
Yes, yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
We mean
well
business.
said.
Always remember, it was by democracy that Boris Johnson went in to power. It is also by democracy we get him out.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? This is not a dictatorship. This is not some kind of Russian setup. This is about freedom and your freedom. So when I'm saying, I'm not talking about defying the government. I'm talking about doing for yourself as and we do it as a collective, individually for a collective understanding. So what I'm saying is, the government has said to wear masks in enclosed places, right? Then wear masks in enclosed places. But when you've got an opportunity not to wear your mask, don't wear your mask. Don't be the percentage where you're just being a puppet on a string for the government. You know what I mean? Don't be the percentage where you're listening to everything the government says. I could understand there is laws and regulation. You abide by them. But where it is not law, where there is no legislation, you don't have to abide by something that's invisible. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying to you, watch the tram behind you, people. Watch the tram as you come down. So what I'm saying to you now, right? And this is not anti-masking. This is the reality of it. When you're out on the streets, do not wear your mask. You are not going to get COVID-19 because COVID-19 is just another name for another strain of the flu. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that right now. You're not going to be killed. They're giving us figures that are not real. They're testing and giving us figures of positivity and positive tests that are not real.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm called
What's the time,
2005.
people? What's the time?
YouTube.
I'm not undermining the government. I'm just saying that we need to know the truth. So when you got a mask on, you ask yourself the question, why have you got a mask on? If you think because of the disease, you would have got it already because your son ain't got a mask on, your daughters ain't got a mask on, your mother ain't got a mask on, and there's certain members in your family that haven't got a mask on, and you still haven't got what they said is so dangerous, COVID-19. This is a world international setup. They will get our DNA. And they will try to make vaccines mandatory globally. And they are using nanotechnology in vaccination. But first of all, they need your DNA first. And I believe that. Now this is not gospel as it say. This is not gospel. What I'm saying is that they have a new vaccination. We're using nanotechnology that actually messes up your DNA. It plays with your DNA. It plays with every cell in your body. The only thing about vaccine, and let me tell you about, because it's COVID-19, it's also about vaccination. Because of diseases and everything like that, 10 million people are dying every year for diseases. 5 million children under the 5 and under, 5,000 million children are dying every year, right? You got let me see statistics. You've got something like 3 million people die of smoking. Yes, thank you, darling. You've got, there's other people that are dying, you know, like drug taking, suicidal, something like 450,000 suicidal every year. But let's look at smoking and alcohol, because smoking and alcohol has a quite number. Let's say 3 million, 4 million. Between alcohol and smoking, we got something like 5 million dead every year. Of course, they still, it's misuse of alcohol. That's what it is, the misuse of drugs, the misuse of, you can't have a misuse of cigarettes. You just can't, because cigarettes are killer in the story. So imagine that that's taken between cigarettes and alcohol, it's taking something like 6 million people every year dying, right? But they don't stop the sale of cigarettes. They don't stop the sale of alcohol. No, because they themselves drink. But all of a sudden, like 2017 to 2018, 550,000 people died of the flu. They didn't have a lockdown when it was 200,000 people that died of the flu. They still didn't lock down when there's 300,000 people that died of the flu. They still didn't lock down when there was 400,000 people died of the flu. And they still didn't lock down when a maximum of 550,000 people died of the flu. They still didn't do it. So this is why when you have to contemplate and do your research, because that's what I'm saying. Most of us don't read, most of us don't research, and that is the downfall of us. Because when you don't research and you don't read and you don't get that information, the government can then play the fear game on you. And you start being scared. And you know what fear does? It causes stress. And you know what stress does? A madness. You've got anxiety and depression. They've even told us that COVID-19 would also cause your hair to fall out. Do you really believe that? I tell you, it's not. It's a lie. Because COVID-19, no flu is going to be able to do that. And not only that, the reason why people's hair has been falling out is because they're stressed. And they've been being stressed for a long time. People, and you know, at the end of the day, you've got to think about all the situations that was going on before they spoke about COVID-19. People were dying of underlying health issues. People were dying of health conditions and so forth. So the government does have an ulterior motive to all this. It's not just the government in England. We're talking world leaders that have come together because they have a club, the World Leader Club, G8, G20, you've got the 5I, all of that, G5, which is a security council. All of these things are set, and I'm going to say this, the COVID-19 is about the vaccine, it also is about security. All that needs to do is it needs to be unfolded. All of this needs to be proved. All of this needs to be clear to us. And I tell you this one thing, like I spoke to a friend of mine, a couple of friends of mine, that I pray to God for a revealing of this kind of thing, a revealing to see what's happening. And I know in time, everything is going to be revealed. We just got to wait. But whilst we are waiting, take off your mask on the streets and prove that COVID-19 is not as dangerous as they say it is. Because I haven't got a mask on, and some of you haven't got a mask on, and you haven't got COVID-19. So the rest of us need to take our mask off on the streets and only wear them according to when we go in enclosed spaces like shops. That is the legislation, that is the rules. But whilst you are on the street, we prove the government wrong. We prove that we are stand together as a people, because the people has the power. But please, because I know some of you ain't going to even take your mask off, and you're going to be the reason why they're going to mandate work. Imagine that. So they're guessing, they have to guess what virus it's going to be in that season. And they make a vaccine to say, okay, this is what's going to be. Now, if that strain of flu is not the one they thought it is, what's going to happen is that the vaccine is going to be classed as a mismatch. They're not going to bring the vaccines back. They're still going to inject you with the vaccine even when they know it's a mismatch. So ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes. Start to see the lies that the government is saying. Starts to stand firm